Hey, it's Rollie from KAMUI, and I am your average pool player. This is a video series where I take shots that professionals do on the first try in major tournaments, and I see how many tries it takes me to complete them, and also what I learn along the way, and I try to reason out what I'm doing wrong. As you probably know, Efren Reyes is something of a mythical figure in the pool world, and for good reason. He first traveled to America in 1984 under a fake name and beat the absolute molasses out of America's greatest players over and over and over again. Officially, he's retired, but he has been known to tour around and play exhibition matches against other pros. This shot is from one of those exhibition matches where Efren takes on pro player Vivian Villarreal. Vivian was ranked #1 in women's pool for 5 straight years, so she can ball. After a defensive shot from Efren and an escape from Vivian, Efren was looking at an awkward layout where the one ball didn't have a direct path into any pocket. So he angled his cue and dropped this little number. Alright, one more time at regular speed. And one more time in slow motion. He jumps the cue ball into the one ball, jumps the one ball over the edge of the 7, hits the 9 into the rail. The one ball kicks off the rail and back into the 9, which comes off the long rail, caroms off the 8, and goes into the upper right-hand corner, winning Efren the game. Now, I'm about to say something here that I don't want anyone to take the wrong way, but I don't think Efren had this exact shot in mind when he hit the cue ball. As far as I understand, the classic double jump carom double kick into a carom strikes back into another kick and close with a return of the carom for an early 9 ball is a pretty low percentage shot. But the shot also wasn't accidental. As we learned from the double jump shot with Alex Pagulayan a few months ago, this ball doesn't go in here.
In the human eyes,
yeah.
Right?
How do you get this 14 ball to go into a pocket it doesn't go into?
So basically, you wanted to make it hop.
World-class players can reliably chip the cue ball into a ball and get that ball to jump over another ball. So the question is, what was Efren's plan and how hard is the execution? So I set up the shot, and before my first attempt, I took a look at what Efren was looking at here. After seeing that, I think it's clear Efren had one of 2 shots in mind. He was either trying to jump the one ball straight over the 7 and directly into the corner, or he was trying to chip the one ball over the side of the 7 and into the 9 and make the 9 in that corner. Maybe he was even playing for both, knowing that he had a few different ways to make a successful shot if he could just bounce the one ball into that corner. I figured I would start by just aiming the one ball straight into the corner to see what could happen. So for attempt number 1, I just tried to clip it in, and no good. I was able to make the one ball hop a little thanks to that Alex Pagulayan lesson, but this shot requires almost a full ball jump, and that means really clipping that one ball with some pace. Shot 2, I hit the cue ball harder, and the one ball jumps to the right height, but the angle is all off. It turns out when you're trying to jump the cue ball into a ball, you've got to aim the shot a little thicker because you're making contact with the top of the object ball and not the side edge like a normal shot. Shot 3, I get the aim back, but the one ball doesn't jump enough. But shot 4, we're making progress. The one ball clears the edge of the 7 and almost flukes the 9 in. And the 7 ball's just sitting there probably thinking about the 8 ball when the cue ball attacks it from behind and we have our first successful fluke shot. On shot 5, I really clocked the one ball, but it doesn't jump enough, and so it ricochets off the 7, off the short rail, and then off the table, making a run for the door. Now the cue ball did almost make the 9 ball in, but ejecting balls from the table is frowned upon in pool, and it's also a foul, so that wouldn't have counted. Shot 6 is just trash, and I'm remembering just how hard it is to consistently chip the cue ball into the object ball if you have any sort of angle. As Alex told me, when it's a straight-in shot, it's much easier.
If from here, right? From there on, I could make it hop, no problem.
But if you have an angle, you've got to get the timing just right. Shot 7, success! No, but it's closer. And I think besides the cue ball flying the off the table, it's probably pretty close to what Efren meant to do. And now I need to take some of the power off so I can keep the cue ball on the table. Shot 8 is a train wreck. I get no air on the cue ball, no air on the one ball, and I managed to disturb every single ball on that part of the table except for the 9, and I think the cue ball scratches out of sheer embarrassment. And it has a valid point. So shot 9, I wanted to concentrate on getting a really clean chip into the one ball, and the 9 goes down. Now I wasn't aiming for the 9 ball at all, but as the saying goes, when life gives you lemons, and one of those lemons is actually a delicious pizza, eat the pizza immediately, because sooner or later, the lemon salesman is going to realize he accidentally sold you his pizza and he can't take it back if you already ate it. Anyway, even though it took 9 tries to achieve sort of the same outcome as Efren, I was interested in seeing what would happen if I was actually aiming to combo the 9 instead of just hitting the 1. So shot 10, I aimed to hit the 1 into the 9 and actually got kind of close. I mean, the 1 flew off the table, but the 9 did kick off the rail and then back into the cue ball and then into the corner, which has some of the same words as the Efren shot. Shot 11 isn't anything to write home about, but I did accidentally make the 4 ball, which is nice. And because I hit the 1 ball straight into the 7 ball, we got a rare triple jump. And if I pause the video right here, you can see that for just a fraction of a second, all 3 balls are in the air. Now, I was tempted to see how many balls I could get into the air at the same time, but it kind of feels like that wouldn't be good for the table. Shot 12 was pretty much an exact repeat of shot 7. Here they are side by side, here they are together, and here's the remix. Shot 13, I really blast the 1 ball and it gets the 9 ball moving, but it also rockets off the table. But the cue ball is there to make the 9 ball. Shot 14 is basically perfect as long as the only metric is did the 1 ball leave the table. So I know I need to tamper that down, but not for shot 15. Shot 15, I'll just go ahead and get that 1 ball out of here. Okay, shot 16. I decided to take just a little bit off and no, oh wait, it's good. After clipping the 7 and hopping off the edge of the rail, it somehow found its way into the pocket. And you know what? I think I just have to call it there. Now I know, I never really nailed the double jump Carom, double kick Carom, 9 ball Efren shot. But I think the moral of this story is that Efren didn't so much intend to do the double jump Carom, double kick Carom 9 ball shot, as much as he recognized that the situation had a lot of good potential outcomes. There were so many balls kind of near that pocket that bouncing the 1 ball into that area had the potential to make the 1 clean or off the 4 or combo the 9 or clip the 9 and go in or something else. In fact, over the 16 shots, I ended up making one of the object balls 9 times. That's 75% of the time, unless you actually do the math, and then it's 56.25% of the time. But that's still kind of a lot if you're chipping the cue ball into the 1 ball on every shot. On that note, I either scratched or ejected a ball from the table or both on 8 of the 16 shots. So take that whole 56.25% with a grain of salt. I am happy to say that I was able to make 5 other recreation shots that evening, and I will be releasing them every 2 weeks as an apology for not having put one of these videos out in a while. Thank you so much for watching. Shout out to Society Billiards in New York, where I normally do these things. Sadly, Society was closed at the time that I filmed this, but hopefully if you're watching this, they're back open. Give them a follow on their Instagram if you're into that sort of thing. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the video. And if you want to, you can subscribe. Do your thing. I trust you. Okay, bye.